This is Frederick Menon. He was a chemist by trade. He lived in LaPorte, Indiana, and he was studying on different ways to try to make a new type of popcorn. So in the same year that this goes on the market, American Home Products comes and says, we want to purchase this. Menon gets his money, and they have Jiffy Pop. So they take it, and they have a scientist on staff named Alvin Galoob. And Alvin looks at this and says, well, I can make this better. And he works on it and works on it. And a year later, they roll it out to the whole U.S. Now, popcorn and movies have gone together since almost the earliest days of movies. In the early days, theaters didn't have concession stands. Nobody thought to do that. As a matter of fact, when they built the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, it didn't have a concession stand. They had to take the last few rows out a few years later to build one. There was a theater down the street on Hollywood Boulevard that was called the Newsview Theater. And this is the first theater to ever have a concession stand. Now, what this was they played those newsreels where they're like, in Germany, the soldiers are lining up for whatever. And, oh, look over here. Here's, the brand new fashions from France. They played those reels all day long. And you could go in there, pay your fee, go in and just watch a bunch of news. And in the lobby, they had an automat, which meant you'd put your coins in and open the door and you'd pull out your sandwich or your, carton of milk. You'd go on in the theater and enjoy it. Now, popcorn became the standard because everybody loved it. Sort of like potato chips, but a lot easier to make popcorn fresh. So they could pop it fresh. It was hot. It smelled good. And it was cheap, insanely cheap. So the markup, as you know, at theaters was so good.
What makes watching TV as much fun as going to the movies?
Jiffy Pop popcorn. Hooray! Jiffy Pop is as much fun to make as it is to eat. There's nothing to add, no mess to clean up.
It's fun to watch, too. Here it goes.
Now, prior to Jiffy Pop, people would pop their popcorn on the stove by putting it in a pan and going like this, just like Snoopy if you ever watched the Thanksgiving special. But Jiffy Pop came this whole new way. The thing starts out small, pops up big, you pop it open, eat your Jiffy Pop. Later, we all started to get these types of machines where you'd put your kernels in there, you put your oil, and the popcorn would roll out into your bowl and you'd take it in the other room and eat it. Then came microwave popcorn. First, they had this crazy dish that you could microwave standard kernels in. But soon we started getting bagged microwave popcorn. This kind of killed off Jiffy Pop. It still exists, and the main reason I think people buy it today is when you're going on a camping trip. You can still do it on your stove, but most people say, why do that when you can get some Orville Redenbacher, throw it in the microwave. It's done in a couple minutes, already in the bag, ready to eat. There's an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 where they reference Jiffy Pop.
This is gonna be good. It's as much fun to make as it is to eat.
Well, I hope it tastes good because the as much fun to make part just isn't happening for me.
And then you cut the center out of the pie pan. Then you wrap the foil around your head. You take the pie pan and put it around your neck. And you go as Jiffy Pop popcorn.
This is pretty cool. When I was doing research on this, I found this VHS tape put out by Jiffy Pop. This has cartoons, public domain cartoons. You got Popeye, you got Bugs Bunny. They also had this promotion with Disneyland where you got this Disneyland kit. It was this thing that would fold out and they were kind of like color forms, I guess, but you'd rub on these little Disney characters on your map. Kids could put them wherever they wanted. These were pretty cool. When you would buy Jiffy Pop, it would come with a handle and then you had your little carton, and on top there was an advertisement, say Jiffy Pop, give you all your instructions. You would remove that and then it would just be metal on the top. You'd put it on the stove and it would pop up. A lot of times though, they'd put cool things in between there, like this Hagar the Horrible Fun booklet. Of course, I think we all think of Scream when we think of Jiffy Pop. That opening scene, Drew Barrymore, do you like scary movies? And she's popping that popcorn, and then eventually the smoke alarms are going off. The Jiffy Pop is great. Popcorn itself is one of those things. That first kernel that pops when you're popping some popcorn does kind of make you jump. So this was a good thing to do in a horror movie to give you that jump scare. Jiffy Pop did have special Scream branded Jiffy Pops when the movie came out.
Only Jiffy Pop microwave popcorn comes right in its own popping bowl to seal in freshness for light, fluffy popcorn every time.
Jiffy Pop also makes microwave popcorn, and Jerry Seinfeld, the character, would always have some on top of his microwave. You can see it in the background of that shot there. The Simpsons once did an episode with Chintzy Pop. This was a lower grade version of Jiffy Pop. In fact, some of the kernels were actually just baby teeth. And according to the records, only 2 people had ever purchased it from the Quickie Mart. One was Chief Wiggums, and the other guy they assumed was the one that kidnapped Bart. It ended up that Bart was just hiding, but the Chintzy Pop was the key to his arrest. Episode 45 of Futurama, which was called Roswell That Ends Well, had some Iffy Pop. Iffy Pop was also the Wacky Packages version of Jiffy Pop. Will it pop? Maybe. Maybe it won't. It's Iffy Pop. They also did Jiffy Pop. You could get a whole basket full of savings and snot when you purchase Sniffy Pop. We talked about that fun booklet. I remember these. These were little baseball. They weren't exactly cards because they were round, but they would have these and you'd get them underneath your Jiffy Pop and collect them and trade them with your friends.
Make a wish, master.
Let's see some real magic.
That's easy. Watch.
Jiffy Pop!
Jiffy Pop, the magic treat. As much fun to make as it is to eat.
By the way, if you enjoy these videos, make sure and be like the Fonz. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that.
Would you believe it? My pal here has never tried Jiffy Pop, ever. Maybe his mom doesn't know how fresh Jiffy Pop tastes. Or that this foil keeps the fresh taste in until the second you eat it. But imagine going through life without ever tasting Jiffy Pop. I say it's not human. What do you say, pal?
More. Free from Jiffy Pop. Wuzzle's drinking cups. See package for details.
I enjoy Jiffy Pop. I'm planning to purchase some next time I go to the store because I feel like I think my son and my nieces and nephews would be at least mildly interested in it because I remember how cool it was. And I feel like that's not something that has been replaced by, iPhones or whatever. It's been replaced by microwave popcorn, which is boring as can be. So I feel like the idea of watching this thing balloon may be kind of like as exciting to them, I feel like, as maybe it was for us. I have to see. I did always like that, though. I remember my dad would pop the Jiffy Pop, especially on camping trips. We'd go out there with the Boy Scouts, make the fire, and you put the Jiffy Pop over it. And I remember, the thing I remember was us all fighting over those little stupid baseball card things, too. Well, that's going to bring this one to a close. Hope you enjoyed reminiscing about Jiffy Pop with me. In a moment, some boxes are going to pop up, and this side will be the one that YouTube says is best for you. So maybe that's what you need. I'm going to put up on this side the story of Morris the cat. This was the most famous cat that ever lived. He was directly ripped off by a cat that you all know, an orange one. And if you want to hear that story, you can click there. Otherwise, take that one. Either path will take you to me, and I'll be happy that you're there. And I'll see you back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We're going to do something new.